Hey everyone, I'm so glad you're here today. We are going to do a no hands yoga practice. Yes, that is totally correct. We are going to do a whole yoga practice, albeit a shorter one, without using weight on our hands. Each of us has different abilities, and I like to empower you. I like to have you be able to participate and to just do as much as you can. We're so glad to have you here. Enjoy. Start your practice today in a seated posture, however it feels comfortable to you. Today I have my pillow nearby, so I'm going to elevate my hips on that pillow. You may use a pillow, a block, a bolster, or even just have the seat placed directly on the earth. Wherever you are, ground in through the hips, through the knees, through the feet, whatever is touching the mat. Set up tall. Lengthen between each of the vertebrae and close your eyes. Feel the breath as it comes in and out of the body. To delve deeper, notice what parts of your body naturally move. So we don't just feel the breath in the ribs. Maybe we notice a slight change of tension in the neck. Maybe we feel the air flow in and out of the nose or the mouth. Maybe we even feel the skin around the lips or around the nose as the air pulls into the body and then as it releases out. Tune into the sensations just a little bit more. Maybe feeling heat and coolness in the breath. Feel what is natural in your body today. Become aware of lingering thoughts or feelings. And if you can, with each breath, try to let those become a little bit softer. Try to let the energy around those thoughts and feelings mitigate. Let them be released with the breath. Notice if there is any tension in the body. For me, I am feeling a lot of tension today in my shoulders. Maybe for you, it's your belly or your hands or even your legs, your hips, your feet. Tune in, letting that breath guide you. You've got 3 more rounds of breath right here in your seated posture. Intentionally trying to not rush, trying to keep it calm, keep it slow. And on your last breath, again, as we started, lower the shoulders, lengthen the back, lengthen the neck in whatever seated posture you are in. And on the exhale, let it be a little bit extra long. Holding it for a beat or 2 or 3 more. Excellent. If the hips are elevated here, go ahead and get rid of the bolster, the pillow, the block, and set it aside. Find a Sukhasana or easy pose where one leg is front of another. Allow both hips to be heavy into the earth and sit up tall. Let's inhale with a breath, arms sweep wide into the sky. Then exhale with that same energy, hands press in, the fingertips, the fingerprints press towards one another. Again, inhale, big breath. Opening the chest and expanding, exhale, hands to the heart. Let's start by stretching out our hands and our fingers by pressing the palms in towards one another, then lifting them away from each other. Fingertips still press in. And you can slowly move that connection only towards the tippy tips of the fingers. Excellent. Then draw the fingers back together, the palms back together, and flip your prayer pose upside down. Lower the shoulders. Try to keep the elbows pulling down to the earth as well. You may feel a stretch in your shoulders. And if the palms are, again, pulling away from one another, the back sides of the hands are together, you might feel a stretch in the top of the forearms. Press those back sides of the hands together and then pull them away from one another, releasing the hands back into a traditional prayer pose. Start there, pressing the palms, the fingertips together, lower the wrists down. This will likely increase the stretch in the back sides of the arms. Slowly peel apart the palms, the fingers. Keep the fingertips extended as long as you can. Then draw them back to center. Flip the prayer. Opposite again, lower the shoulders, lower the elbows. Keep those wrists lifted so they're in line with the elbows. Breathe there. And then pull apart the arms, pull apart the fingers until only the tippy tips are still touching. And come back to a prayer pose. Excellent job. Let's move through the wrists, creating circles with an external outward rotation. And take up space here. Spread the fingers as far away from one another as they can. And then inward rotation of the wrists towards the body. The fingers lead, the palms follow. Get as expressive or creative as you want. If you'd like to move the arms above your head, out to the side, go ahead and do so. Okay, let's do the external outward rotation again with the wrists, letting this move even further into circles with the arms, with the fingers. Feel the opening in the chest as the arms come back. Maybe it even feels a little bit like you're flying here. Excellent. And then let's do an inward rotation with the wrists, with the fingers. We gotta scoot over to let this get big, as if you were a swimmer doing a butterfly stroke, being creative in these circles, and lower. Maybe you're like me and you feel that in your shoulders and your neck. Let's begin to put the hands on the legs and bring the weight left and right in the hips. Move the rib cage. Let the whole upper body and neck follow, being smooth and connected in the tissues. Just notice whatever leg is in front. Neither side is right or wrong. It's all good here. But whichever side of the leg is in front, take the opposite hand towards that knee. And let's take a twist. Extend through the long back. And use your eyes over the back shoulder with the back hand being a stability point behind you. You may move the flesh away from the hip area, the flesh away from the shoulder area to allow that twist to happen. Feel the elongation on the outer neck. Deep breath in. Exhale, reach the back arm up overhead. Feeling a stretch in the pectoral muscles as it comes up and over. Cross to the other side and slowly release. Excellent. Bring the weight left and right, but this time, opposite leg comes in front. Whichever side, you're on a new side as you bring the weight in the hips to the left and the right. The rib cage follows, the upper body follows. Notice which leg is in front this time, and take the opposite hand across towards the knee. Feel free to move the flesh away from the hip, away from the shoulder to help you take that twist. If it doesn't reach the opposite side, that's okay. Energetically reach as you twist. The back hand gives you stability behind the spine. Feel elongation in the outer neck muscles here. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, take the back hand, extend it up slowly overhead, opening in the pectoral muscles. Cross it over and release. Stay here, keeping the hands on the knees, and draw the chest forward into a seated cow pose. Then without putting weight in the hands, take a cat pose seated. So sometimes we grab on here, leave the hands light and mellow as you round the spine. Inhale, seated cow pose. Exhale to a cat. Let's do that 2 more times. I want you to pay special attention to this heart space and the exact opposite on the back. So what happens when you open up for a cow pose on the front side? What is the back doing? Where do things pinch and contract? And then cat pose, what here spreads apart, what lengthens and what contracts on the front? Final time, seated cow pose. Maybe even notice what changed in the second round in that heart space, and seated cat pose, opening up through both shoulder blades. Excellent. Come through center. And final seated posture. Drop your right ear down towards the shoulder. Careful to stay seated nice and tall. Both shoulders are back and down. Drop the chin forward and slowly roll it to the other side. Back through center. Now the left ear comes to the left shoulder. Drop the chin down. And let's do that full cycle 2 more times. Again, tune in to the subtleties of the body. Drop the right ear down. How do the shoulder muscles feel as you roll the chin forward? What has your breath done as the left ear comes to the side and back to center? Other way. Drop the left ear down. Roll the chin forward. Where do you feel it? In your chest, in your scapula? And back through center. Excellent. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down a few times to lengthen those muscles, and then forward. Come into a seated hero's pose. If you have any blocks nearby, you may feel free to grab them. I'm going to use one to help protect and allow plenty of space in my ankles. So you can spread the legs wide and seat back on the block. From here, hands are nice and light on the thighs. Pull the belly button back and up simultaneously. So we want to think about it being on a string, pulling back into the spine. And then as if you were excited and you were energetically pulling it up, we want to happily intensify that energy, but still allow yourself to breathe. Exactly. Just notice how it feels to tune into those muscles in the core. And then release it. Get them nice and soft in the belly. It can be loose and feel really soft. Be okay with that change here, nurturing the body. Let's try that again. Pull the belly button back, maybe even paying special attention to the low belly muscles, and then lift. Lengthen the neck and the spine to help that lightness of energy grow. And exhale, release. Let the belly be loose. In yoga, practicing these opposites allow us to bring that energy into all of our postures. So we are going to move into standing now, and oftentimes we need to use our core in those standing postures. Just remember how that feels. Belly button pulls in, and positive energy lifts it up. I'll see you in a standing posture in just a moment. Let's start on our standing postures. Feet can be together or give yourself a little bit of space, hip distance apart. Feel the feet ground into the mat or the floor that you're standing on. Then lift up out of the heels, feeling a stretch in the muscles, feeling that same turned on core energy with a big inhale, reach the arms overhead. Then exhale, fold forward. So here, hands can come to the hips. Energetically feel the pulling up of the belly. And allow those hands to stay there as you bend the knees and fold forward. Hands then can come down to the earth. Allow gravity to work on your body here. Releasing through the neck. Release through the back. If it's uncomfortable to have the hands down, you can always draw them to opposite hands, to opposite elbows, rather. No matter where you are here, try to let gravity be your friend. If it feels good, move to the left and the right, or forward and back, creating some dynamic energy. Then roll up. One vertebra stacks upon another. Inhale. Mountain pose. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Put the weight into the left heel. Right foot gets a little bit light. Practice your balance here. Keep the hands pressing in. You can even flex the toe. Lovely. Let's take a big step back. Keep the hips in line. Hands are at the heart center to begin. Crescent lunge. Lift through the back heel. Work towards a straighter back knee. If you need to bend it, that's okay too. And keep that right hip shining energetically forward. Slowly lift the arms overhead. High crescent lunge. Just as we did earlier, check in with that core energy. As we hold it, how does it feel in this strong standing posture? Hands press into the heart. Bring the weight forward into the left heel and propel yourself back to a standing right knee raise. Woohoo! Catch your balance. Let it hover again and slowly step back. Take your time in getting there. Notice where your weight needs to be. Extend the arms overhead, high crescent lunge. Big, deep, slow breaths. Hands to the heart on the exhale. Third and final time on this side. Weight into the left heel. Standing right knee raise. Point and flex if you so desire. Then step back. Connecting every muscle movement. High crescent lunge. Arms extend to the heart center. And last press and lower. Excellent. Reach the arms overhead. Extend through both sides of the ribs of the belly to reach. Exhale. Hands can come to the hips. Lifting up, moving the flesh away as you bend and fold. Let that dynamic gravity move you. Opposite hands to opposite elbows if you wish. Otherwise, everything pulls down with tenderness, with kindness, with acceptance of your body here. With acceptance of that energy, with release of whatever emotions or thoughts were in your mind as you began. Slow roll of the spine, all the way up to a standing posture. Hands to heart center. Put the weight in the right heel this time. Let the left foot get light. You can point and flex the toes. I rotate just for you to see. Slowly step it back. Left hip shines forward into a high crescent lunge. This is the first one. So take plenty of little wiggles and little movements to set yourself up. High back heel, lifting of the back hamstring towards a straighter leg. Then extend both arms overhead. Feel stretches in certain areas. Maybe you feel energetic, strong muscles, but let's bring our focus to the belly. Still using our core. Hands come to heart center, weight to the right heel. Standing left knee raise. Excellent. Hold it there and then step back. Connecting every little slow, intentional muscle movement. High crescent lunge. Extend the arms. Make small modifications. Feel the breath in your lungs. Hands to heart center. Third and final full round. Standing. Left knee raise. Connect the tissue, connect the breath, connect every thought. As you step back, high crescent lunge. Reach both arms to the ceiling. Attention to the core as you finally draw the hands to the heart. Standing, left knee raise, and back through center, mountain pose, then lift through the hips, lift through the belly. You can use those hands if it helps, and fold, bending in the knees. Take the time to settle into this posture. Even wiggle the neck. Wiggle the arms, wiggle the spine. Be with your body. You've got 3 more breaths right here. I know you can do it. I know that this moment is a chance for you to connect, to enjoy the present moment. Roll through the spine, slowly up, mountain pose. Hands to heart center. the hips. If the feet came together, or if they were from the beginning, let's spread them about hip distance apart. Bring the weight left and right, hands on the hips. Come into a standing right knee raise. Weight again is in the left heel. And just slowly come into it. Notice how the weight shifts to the left as you slowly peel the foot off the earth. And play with this here. Note where the knee is. If it's right in front of the hip, if it's out wide. We don't really want to cross it right now, but it can be right in straight front or a little bit off to the side. Know what your body likes. And feel free to create some movement in the feet, in the toes, letting them spread wide. And feel where things are getting a little tight now. Let's do an inward rotation of ankle and the foot. Hold on there. Continue to have that lifting energy in the belly. Then slowly flex the toes, draw the knee out to the side. Set up for tree pose. The toes can come down to be low, medium with the foot on the calf, or higher. Feel free to use the hands to draw it up to the quad. We always want the foot to be on a fleshy part of the skin. We don't want it to press into a joint. Again, with that belly lifted, positive, supported energy here. Hands can start off at the hips. Make sure that they're about even and flat, horizontal. If you've got that position and that left foot feels strong, slowly, intentionally lift the arms wide. Play with the weight here. Note where it's in the toes, where it's in the heel. Feel all 5 connected toes to the earth. If it feels good, palms lift to the sky to have that same upward, energetic, hopeful momentum. Then slowly, if you can, without the hands, come back to a standing right knee raise. One more big breath. Lift the fingers a little bit, maybe even just an inch. And then exhale, lower. Palms drift down, forward, fold. You can use those hands to move the hips out of the way. Linger for 3 breaths. Inquire if this is different. If there are different areas now that feel like they need a stretch, go ahead and move into it. Maybe one hip feels a little tighter because it was your stability. Maybe one feels a little bit looser. Move through it. On your 3rd breath, inhale. Exhale, let it all out. Then roll up, mountain pose, and lower. Okay, those feet, again, are gonna be hip distance apart. Hands come on to the hips. Notice how the weight moves between the heels. And slowly, practice a few times, come into a standing left knee raise. Take your time in getting there and become aware of where the knee falls. If it's in alignment with the hips straight, or if it feels better to be a little wide. Keep the chest open to the sky, lifting through the belly, and big circles outward of the toes, of the ankle. And then inward circles. Notice how that right foot is your stability point, where things are harder, where things are easier. Come back through, right back through center. Feel the hands, try to keep them about even. Then spread open the knee wide. Tree pose. Toes can come down for a lower version. Foot can be on the calf for a middle. You may even use the hands to draw it upper, high tree version. Check in with the hips, and once you feel strong and stable, lift through the palms up. Elbows can be in alignment or a little bit bent for a softer feel. And draw the weight forward and back. Make sure all 5 toes of the right foot are connected and energetic into the earth. Yes. Feel the lifting. Feel the power. Slowly here. If you can, without the arms. Standing, left knee raise, then lower. Hands down, foot down. Lift the belly and fold. 3 breaths. What thoughts, what energies, what actions can you release in this fold? When you are done, make your way back to a seat. However it feels good to you. Of course, careful with the hands. We don't want to put any additional weight in them today. Once you are in a seated posture, draw the legs in front of you. Knees are bent. Feel a shining forward, an opening of the heart, as if the sun was coming in through a window, which it literally is for me today. Lift the heart, and then slowly, without putting any pressure in those hands, you can use the elbows if you need to slowly lower, or you can roll all the way back on the spine. Windshield wiper the knees. Draw both knees off to the left and back through center. Both knees to the right and through center. In this posture, we're going to move between both sides. I like to spread my arms wide or even extend them overhead with a slight bend in them. Move the knees to the left and the right. Practiced a lot of that energetic turning on in the belly. Right here, I invite you to let it go. Let it be soft in that same way we practiced earlier. Let the belly be where you breathe into, let it take up space. And notice where tension resides in the hips. If it could feel better to let each hip keep pulling to the ground as the knees pull away, or whether it's nicer to let the hip move with it. Either is fine today. Close your eyes if you haven't yet. And slow down the movement of the knees to the left and the right. It can be microscopic, slow motion, or if it feels better to have it still be fluid, that's fine too. Notice where your mind goes. Notice what emotions are coming up as we slow down one. Wherever the arms are, slowly bring both hands to the belly and breathe into those hands. Oftentimes we feel like we can't let that belly take up space. Go ahead and expand it out and then let it release. Expand it out. The next time both knees come through center, slowly extend the heels out long. Keep both hands on the belly and let your weight slowly melt into the mat. Shoulders are spread and heavy. Toes are relaxed. We often don't think about the weight of our feet. Let the weight in your feet drift and drip down like honey. This is our closing posture for class. You may linger here as long as you wish. I draw my hands to my heart to honor you, to honor your practice. I'm so thankful that we can take this space together, that we can slow ourselves down and be intentional, even while we protect our wrists, even while we can have a full, slower practice. Bring this energy with you for the rest of your day. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Hope to see you soon.